now we're moving closer and closer to the Cybertruck interior. And now we have a very controversial thing that was happening, and that was the frunk. So let's look at the frunk here for 1 second. We have a very good picture, actually, also with the Cybertruck logo inside of the frunk. And what do you think about the frunk?
I think it's perfect. I think it is the Ford bragging about their mega ultra super duper frunk is an excuse for the fact that they've got a truck that doesn't have a V8 in the front of it all of the sudden. The giant frunk was a byproduct. It wasn't the product. And if you're going to give me the choice between more frunk or more bed, I'm going to take more bed. Or more frunk versus more interior. Or just give me a shorter truck. The darn things are already hard enough to park. And I don't know about you, but I don't use my frunk. I really don't. I've used it once or twice, mostly because, that's right, because we were shooting some fun accessories and we needed the cargo space. But that was it. And everything still fit. So it was, I don't need a giant frunk myself.
And what I also find very interesting is the following, because of course in the US we have these sports events, the big football games or the big baseball games, where people park in front of the thing and do tailgating. That's what they call it. So they put out on their beds behind on the trucks. They're gonna make a huge barbecue and do stuff like this. Very American stuff there. We don't have that in Germany, of course. In our small Fiats and VW Golfs, we don't put a.
That's so surprising. I was just sure that was a common thing with your Dacia Springs.
Yeah, but now looking at the Cybertruck, I think it's pretty interesting that look how much space you have. You could do that in the front as well, maybe. Yeah. And also what I can see is making a kind of small workbench there where you can put your stuff with lights on top, maybe. This is something that you could customize. I think we're going to see interesting stuff, and we've also seen pictures of somebody sitting inside of the frunk. It's also a good seating spot to sit there. And what do you think about the possibilities? Because the mouth of the car actually widens pretty high. Yeah,
I think it does go high enough that a person could get in and out to sit there without banging their head. And now you're out of the rain. So that's also nice. Your knees might get a bit damp. But yeah, the space is fine. For a workbench, it's also going to be about the right height. And if it's not the right height, adjust it. It's an adjustable height workbench, which the other guys don't have. So I don't think these little features around the edge are going to make a big difference. One thing I did notice in this picture is the fog lights are clear plastic. Those look nice.
And that is probably also the placement that I could see to have those, how are they called? The headlights that are stronger?
Yeah, the high intensity
high beams. The high beams.
Just the high beams. Yeah, if the top lights are too bright or too high, I mean, if for some reason the height is unacceptable, you just swap them out there and make the top ones the fog lights.
Yeah, maybe we Europeans, or for the European market, they can switch something out below with the lights below and do something there. I think there is a possibility to get this.
Because the two light bars look to be about the same size. So why not?
I can really see that. Also, what I've noticed in the middle of the front here is also in the middle is a small object there, or a small cutout. It also looks like a cutout for a camera, actually. So
to me, that looks
really
like
sure.
the latch. If you look up
that's the latch. Okay.
The top, you'll see the other part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be, but no. But what I mean is in the where the lights are placed.
Oh, I see.
So
on the lights, I see a cutout that looks to me like there's a piece on the actual frunk that looks like it latches into there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure they thought of this.
But maybe this is there could be also the camera. But it doesn't make sense to have two cameras as close as each other. I think wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Interesting angle, something we haven't seen before, I think.
So looking at the interior there. Those are cyber seats, all right. Those have maintained the design aesthetic, with the interesting angles. And you've also got side support, which is, I assume, great for both racing and off-roading.
Absolutely. And here we see finally something about the interface, very interesting interface. And also on the left, of course, the interior. The yoke is not a yoke, but a special, it's a special
I'm surprised
type of...
because it seems very out of character for Elon to go halfway between a wheel and a
Mhm.
yoke, because I didn't think he wanted to go woke. But anyway,
No, yoke, not woke.
well, it's
Yoke.
in between. It's halfway in
Yeah, I know,
between.
I know.
I had just
Yeah.
assumed. I don't know.
Wheel and
It's,
yoke. Yeah.
it's more like a flattened stop sign. I'm not sure what you'd call that, but I think it is a good compromise between the two. I think enough people despise the yoke enough. Again, I've driven with the yoke and it was fine. I had the time it took me for my brain to adapt was minutes, mere minutes. But especially in off-roading, I can see why you'd want more
Something.
points of contact. I
Yep.
know that the guys who raced the Plaid, Unplugged
Mm-hmm.
Performance, I interviewed Blake Fuller, and the first thing they did was got rid of the yoke. Nope, we're racing, we need a wheel.
Oh,
So
okay. Hmm.
so for them, that was an easy choice. I'm very disappointed that there is not a center seat, that it is 5
Yes.
instead of 6.
Thank you. Yes. I also...
Yeah. I had speculated that the reason could be that you couldn't put an airbag behind that monitor. I talked
True.
with a gentleman who is an airbag engineer in Michigan and got the answer. Nope, that's not it. You could easily make it go up and over. If you look at an airbag for the driver, it comes out like a balloon, like a round ball. If you look at the airbag for a passenger, it comes out like a kidney bean, where it goes up
Mhm.
first and then back,
Mhm.
because where the passenger is different because they're not holding on to something. And he said it would be very easy to just go up and over the screen. And if it pushes the screen down a little, it's not going to be critical. You could easily design around that. He doesn't believe that's the reason for it.
Okay. Interesting.
And also I found out, did you know your side curtain airbag, when it deploys, remains inflated? Did you know that?
No.
I had the
No.
misfortune of seeing an accident last summer at the California takeover, and the side curtain does not deflate, where the front ones instantly deflate. And the reason is rollover. They don't want
Yeah, it makes
passengers
sense.
coming out of the car. That's why I always go to these events. These are where I meet these people, and these are how I get these insights.
Yeah, thanks, Brian, for that. I mean, that's perfect to hear that, because now we know that the airbag placement was not the reason for the
I
getting
think it's
rid
just
of the
comfort.
curvers.
I think it's just driver comfort, but I don't know.
I don't know. I wish they had it. I really like the idea. It's because it's cool to, if you go with your family or more people in the front row, you can place 6 people in the car, which is crazy. Also for workers, it's cool when you go on site and then you have 6 people seated, not just 5. I mean,
Piling out of the clown car.
yeah, kind of clown. I'm not sure about a clown car, but I get your point. Yeah, it's way
So
bigger than a clown car.
I wonder if this is a normal screen we're looking at. It doesn't look like it's the screen that's just up all the time, but if it's quickly accessible, this would be great for off-road purposes, where you might want to fold your mirrors in and out, where you might want to adjust your suspension while you're going, not while you're moving, but more than once in a matter of minutes. And yeah, of course, you've got your power tonneau cover, and it's all great.
Yeah, I also like the design is like, looks very 80s inspired, more or less, like an 80s interface, the cyber interface, and it makes sense for the design aesthetic. In a different kind of car, I would say this would look a little bit old, or the old way of designing an interface, because I'm from the design space, so I'm gonna comment on this, of course. Yeah. So I think it's a good compromise, and also think it fits very much to the overall design aesthetic, and that's the most important thing. I really despise and don't like the Mercedes interior design of their interface, because I don't like those gradients they always have everywhere. And because this kind of design aesthetic was popular 2010, and we moved past that. Also, the icons of the iPhone, for example, was 3D before that, to indicate, oh, this is a button you can press. But we are so used to use flat interfaces that the we have minimalist interfaces now. And I would also count the Cybertruck interface as a minimalist design because we don't have those horrible gradients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it fits with the aesthetic because everything about it's minimal. Did you
Exactly.
notice something interesting on the interior? It has what Elon might describe as the best rear view mirror.
No review.
There's no, and if you think
That's
about
true.
it, you're not going to see jack out that. I think you'd still have it. I don't see much out the tiny little portal that is the rear glass of the Model Y, but I
Yeah.
still use it. I do still use it. So I wonder if it's going to have a rear view mirror because I do
Mhm.
not see one.
Yeah, and also I think it's for European regulation. I know we maybe we have some years to catch on and do something about our strange and horrible regulations and get this into the modern age where we have cameras that are reliable. But I think it's also mandatory here to have rear view mirrors or a screen in that placement. So in that
So-
placement, the top placement is something that is regulated, I think.
I know in the US it's that you have to have either a rear view mirror or a passenger side mirror because those used to be optional. Because if you think
Okay.
about it from the perspective of a delivery van or
Yes.
a moving
Yeah.
truck,
Mhm.
there's no rear view mirror.
Of course, yeah, we also have that we have those Sprinter vans that are closed
Right.
down and everything. So, of course, this makes sense.